Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I just read Rogal Dorn, The Emperor's Crusade by Gav Thorpe, and it was okay. The premise is that 4 Primarchs have been tasked with traveling to the Occluda Noctis and conquering it in the name of the Emperor. So Horus, Fulgrim, Lionel, and of course Rogal Dorn split up and start conquering parts of this dark corner of the galaxy. The book then basically summarizes the entire Night Crusade in 100 pages, while explaining why Rogal Dorn was chosen to build the Imperial Palace. By the way, I don't mean that final part metaphorically. 2 Imperial Fists quite literally have a conversation about this. It's quite similar to the Lehman Russ book in the sense that the majority of this book is actually a flashback between 2 modern scenes. Now this book aims to do one thing, and it does this well. If you read this book, you will understand why, of all the Primarchs, Rogal Dorn was chosen to build the palace. You won't learn anything else about Rogal, Inuit, or the Imperial Fists, but this one question will be answered. And in that sense, it's also very similar to the Mortarion book. Rogal is utterly loyal and will execute any order to the letter. He won't try any fancy tactics, won't try to earn any glory or stick to any ethics. If you tell Dorn to do something, he will do it, and exactly in the way you told him. And again, the book does a great job at showing Dorn as this unwavering soldier. Furthermore, the plot was alright. Sure, I think there is some wasted potential in summarizing the entire Night Crusade to a novella, but it didn't feel very rushed and altogether was a decent Space Marine adventure battle book. Similarly, it's also a shame we didn't get any insights into the head of the Primarch, but the world building of the Occluda Noctis and its inhabitants was pretty cool. One thing that's very weird about this novella is that there aren't any chapters. I mean, there are, it's very clear at which points there normally would be a chapter and a beginning, but they just aren't indicated. Not sure why, but if it was a stylistic choice it kinda fell flat for me. My big complaint about the book however are the characters. Thorpe in my opinion greatly struggles to get in the mind of characters, and as a result his characters feel flat or even unlike themselves. Characters do things and act in certain ways because the plot needs a character to do something at a certain point, but the justification as to why they do it is rarely there. For an example, I'm none the wiser as to how Dorn got so loyal or obsessed with executing things to the letter, but that is what the plot wanted to show, so that's how he acts. The plot also needed a named Fist character to be a fellow believer and picked Sigismund, but that actually makes no sense, because we see in the Siege books and in Eternal Crusader that Sigismund never really was a believer in the Great Crusade. Even funnier to me was that the book actually ends with a commercial for Eternal Crusader by John French, which then directly contradicts the personality of Sigismund that's in this book. It's great. Thorpe's characters feel like hollow puppets, because it's always the plot, the grand puppet master, that pulls the strings, rather than them moving forward based on their passions and beliefs. That being said, there was one character that stood out from the rest, and that was a remembrancer that elected to travel with the Fist to detail the crusade firsthand. A decision which he greatly regrets during the book. The book has included some of his notes, which both summarize things the plot skims over, but also provide some great comic relief, because while the Fist might know no fear, this poor chap certainly does. This book, however, gets a solid 3 out of 5 Death Stars. It's a solid Space Marine battle style novel which shows you the biggest strength of Rogal Dorn, together with some interesting world building and a very funny remembrancer. The lack of characterization and insights, however, do hurt it quite a lot and thus it earns a place below the Lorgar novel. Meanwhile, the fact that it doesn't use the word death 5 billion times makes me put it above the Morty book. Quite a bit above the Morty book, to be honest. Anyway, that's all I got for you today.
If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and click ringing the bell to appease the Great Horned Rat. For more lore content, please check my main channel and leave any book recommendations in the comments down below. I gotta get back to reading the next book.